opens her eyes and
that like this okay, that this panel right here with her looking up into his eyes and him being like what 2 inches from her face, it got me. I was like, all right, I'm shipping it.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 146 for Hyacinth with Mem.
Hi, how's it going?
All right, so this is a great episode for shippers and theorists alike.
Oh my god.
Yes, wait, are you, I guess, establish a fact. Do you prefer the Kiwi ship or the Loki ship or the like Lila Lucas ship, which I forgot their name, like Loki, Lila, I forgot their ship.
I'm on the like if it starts getting there, okay, I can roll with it type shit. But I will say I like Lauren and Kieran together a lot. I haven't decided yet if they are just like two broken people needing like support, like friendship wise, or just like I don't know if I want to be romantic yet. I haven't decided. It's a hard one. That's like my biggest one is like, do they really need to be in a relationship when they're that traumatized, or do they just need a friend who understands?
They need a very, very, very good friend, also known as your romantic partner.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm okay. I'm like down for whatever right now, and I'm just going to see where the story takes us right now. You know, I'm gonna save, and we're gonna go into the story, and later on I'll let you know more what I think about it.
I'm yawning at the beginning of the episode. That's bad. Usually happens at the end. All right, so we are actually kind of rewinding a little bit in the hospital. We're going back to a little bit before, well, the chat event at the end, and we have Will and Kym in the hospital. They're standing by the window and they're looking at each other, or rather now Kym's looking at the window and she says, "It's crazy how close we are now. I hope the army gets there on time." And Will's looking at her with the softest look in his eyes.
Oh my gosh. Like how did they draw that? Like seriously. It is like the sweetest like candy, like cotton candy look I've ever seen in my life. It's so sweet that I can't handle it.
I know. I'm trying to. How do they do it? It's like I think a little bit furrowed, a little smile. I think it's like the eyes are a little wider. I don't know. How do you? I don't know. I haven't drawn expressions, but like,
I don't know. It's just so sweet. Like what is it? Whenever like I watch K-dramas and stuff like that, like when they say like these two, like usually the leads are looking at each other, like it says the honey is dripping out of their eyes, and I can see it with Will. Like the honey is dripping out of that man's eyes. Like
that's a nice adorable. So sweet. He loves her. Oh my gosh. I don't know when he'll admit it, but
needs to be soon. Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and he says the investigation took quite an unexpected turn. And she says, yeah, lots of unexpected turns.
Look at the way she's like at him. Look at the way she's looking up at him, just like
it's not, there's no honey dripping out of her eyes, but it's very trusting. And the fact that they're so close, she's in her hospital gown, which is pretty vulnerable. First of all, she's also this. I think that she trusts him a lot at this point, and she feels safe with him.
It's like, it's not like, you know, like the sweet look that he's giving her, but it's almost like it's just like such a vulnerable look, like, which is saying something for Kym, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like it's so cute. So cute.
Right. She's usually, you know, flippant and funny and sarcastic, but here in zany, here she's just being genuine and low-key, quiet.
Right.
The shared look, the next panel is just them looking at each other in their eyes.
So cute.
But
How
then
he's
they
just like, how she's like slightly looking up at him and he's just like looking kind of down at her. Oh, kill me now. As my 9-year-old would say, I'm a little sweeted out. You know, whenever she eats like a ton of candy, it's just it's too sweet. It's almost too sweet.
Yeah, it's too sweet for Kym because she is apparently rendered uncomfortable and she turns away. So she's not ready for this level of intimacy yet, but she better be one day.
Maybe like 2 episodes from now, she needs to be ready for it.
Episode. But you're like, okay, so Loki, very, very slow burn. Kiwi, we can put them on, raise the heat.
Yes.
And she coughs. I want her to be out of the hospital already. I'm sure she's frustrated. And she picks up the music box and she says, "You remembered." And by the way, there's music going on and it is beautiful. It is a Halloween version of the lullaby, apparently, but it's really nice. I mean, the lullaby is a beautiful tune. So, I just realized it's probably, no, okay. I was thinking if it's going to be public by Halloween, but I guess not. Anyway, close enough. And it's, we focus on the music box. It's beautiful. It's very nice. And now we move on to Blaire. So now we know that this is, a little bit before the end of last episode. He's hooked up and the nurse comes in. She's like, "It's time for your pain meds, Mr. Blaire." He's not even looking at her. He looks very depressed. I think he's like, well, my goose is cooked.
Like, he looks so nervous. That man is just like, it's like the 1,000-yard stare going on. Like, he knows. Like, he knows he's done.
I know, right? Yeah, he has no options. I mean, by the way, the APD literally just said, "We'll protect you." And they didn't. Someone pointed out, so I was on the Discord just now, and someone pointed out, they're like, "Why didn't the APD keep better track of who's going in and out of the room? They should have like, hey, a hospital, like, give us, one nurse. That's it. One nurse that you really trust. No one else goes in and out." They literally have guards.
I know, like, that just, I don't know. This just goes back to my theory from last time that I think Hermann is not who he says he is.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Well, even if it's March, which, as basically Kieran at least suggests is either Hermann or March. Either way, maybe you're right. Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe whoever the mole is, let Bella go through.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, sus, as my kids would say, sus.
I actually learned that from PH, by the way. From Webtoon.
My 13-year-old tells me that I need to use more hip lingo, and I was like, excuse me, child, I think I know these terms way better than you. I was that person, thank you. But anyway, so you're gonna hear me say more of it because apparently I'm not cool enough anymore. So
yeah, like, dude, you know what's cool? Paying your bills and having a job.
What?
Yeah. Although I can only do the latter, but anyway. So our dear Bella administers something in his system, which is not a painkiller. It's actually a pain enhancer, at least for a few seconds.
The way that like those guards don't even look at her though as she comes out, like don't even like take stock in her at all.
Right. Someone was asking, so is that Jason over there? Right? I think he has that type of beard. Jason,
I think so.
The detective? Yeah. And the other guy, well, he's so generic. I don't know when we might have seen him before, but I'm not bothering to go look back at Mr. Generic APD officer.
Right, right.
Jason could be an option too. Someone that we need to keep an eye out for. We already are inclined not to like him because he said something negative to Lauren. So may as well make him a mole too.
Maybe there's more than one. We don't know. You know,
as we see later, there's definitely more than one because there's Kieran. So.
Well, yeah. Besides him, he doesn't count at the moment.
Right. So, and we go back. We see Lauren. That Lauren actually is paying attention to the nurse. Goes away, she laughs, and then we have the attention, code blue, block C, Charlie, room 8, level 2, and we have a bunch of nurses coming in. Blaire is.
That was traumatic reading through it for the first time. I'm like, what? Like that is so traumatic looking. So just FYI, people, before you read, if you are watching this before you read, hopefully you read this first. But yeah, super traumatic.
That's funny. Please let me know if you listen to the podcast and don't read the story, because that would be interesting.
Yeah. They want our input first, but I don't know.
I'm flattered, but skeptical. Yeah, so he is, yes, quite gorily. There's lots of blood all over him. And yeah, he's gone from the world. Goodbye. Oh, he's spasming actually still.
Yeah, he's like in the process of dying very, very, very gruesomely. Like,
yeah. The nurse who's coming in is just like horrified, and he's gagging, and she sees blood, and it's gross. And we have is that Hermann, or is that the guard that was near on the left side?
I feel like that was the guard that was on the other side, the one without the beard, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, look, okay. Right? Too generic to tell. And she says, immediate backup needed at McIntyre Hospital. And Lauren is also on the radio. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, all wards initiate immediate lockdown. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. But she says, I saw the nurse get out of the room. Roughly 5'10", light skin, rust brown eyes, brown hair attached in a bun at the base of the neck. Might be a wig, which is, thank you, Lauren. I'm glad you are clever.
I feel like she's the only one that actually notices anything. I mean, I know they're not all detectives, but come on. Like,
yeah, and we see this nurse crouched over there, the blonde wig. For a second, I was like, wait, is that Bella? Like, did she switch wigs so fast?
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. I think it's just a nurse who's like scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some time passes already, and Lauren says to Hermann, it's been 2 hours. None of the suspects correspond to her. She's probably already long gone. Oh, well. That was fast, man. She's fast because they... Right. Sorry,
I was going to say, she's a circus performer. Like, who knows? She could have, like, just, like, jumped out the window. You know? Like, let's be real. She could have, like, ditched her clothes and jumped out the window.
Right. Exactly. She is skilled. And Hermann is annoyed. He says, well, lift the lockdown. Dispatchers are still on the lookout in the hospital's periphery. She says, I'll join the search parties. Thank you, officer. And she's outside. That looks like Cooper again, if it's his Abraham Lincoln beard is any indication. And people are still looking around outside. And then, we have a little bit of break. You see the red and blue of the APD lights. And people are, this car station on the outside of the hospital. Looks like Will, just because he's blonde. I don't know, a bunch of officers outside. And Lauren is sitting on a bench. And I love, the whole lighting and the smoke. It's cold outside. I guess her, her breath is mystifying. I don't know what it was called. Sublimating. And she looks exhausted. She looks sad. She's probably disappointed that Blaire.
She's like sweating a little bit, like that's the thing is that like it's cold enough to see her breath, but she's like sweating, and I think her ear is like slightly pink. I can't know if you can't tell or not, or if you can tell or not. But
always, I noticed it once, and I was like, "What is it always like that?" And people are like, "Yeah, actually, their ears are always pink like that." And I just never noticed.
I haven't noticed, so maybe I was like, but it looks like she's been working hard despite it being like freezing, apparently. So,
right. And she sighs. She lifts her head back on the bench. She is upset. I mean, Blaire just slipped out right from under their hand, and she apparently knew it was Bella right away. I think that's why she said that it could be a wig, because.
Oh yeah, I think she did. I'm fairly certain, because she did get a good look at her face. It looks like so, at least from the side.
I'm sure she, whatever, she realized. I don't know if she saw Blaire necessarily that quickly. I assume she would, because the second you look at him, she knows, okay, that's the poison victim, the same as Bella's other victims.
Mm-hmm.
So she sighs and closes her eyes, and while she is there in that beautiful position, we have someone saying, "Sleeping on the job now, detective." She opens her eyes and
that, like this, okay, this panel right here with her looking up into his eyes and him being like, what, 2 inches from her face, it got me. I was like, all right, I'm shipping it. I'm gonna get out the wood planks I'm building, It's so cute. Like, it's just so romantic. Like, it reminds me of the upside down Spider-Man kiss in a way.
I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it was very romantic too.
You know, the first Spider-Man movie that came out with Tobey Maguire, you never saw that one?
I don't watch superhero movies. I only watched Thor because of Chris Hemsworth, and I was yelling at it the whole time. But you know, listen, Chris Hemsworth is very handsome, so it had to be done.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, it's like pop culture is that like she like removes like half of his masks and they kiss each other upside down and stuff like that, and it was like a thing. So this kind of just reminds me of that.
That's cute, but this is even cuter. Oh my gosh. I can't. Kieran is just like so obvious with his affection and his love, and like his flirtation. He's not even trying to hide it.
Super flirty.
You know. Oh, it's like he's going for what he wants without saying it outright. Oh, I use the full panel, by the way. Like he wants that relationship with her, but he doesn't want to like really do it yet, so he just flirts and pretends that he's just having it up. Really, that is what he wants.
He doesn't want to scare her. He knows more than anyone like what she's going through, especially after finding out with her parents and you know all this stuff. You know, there's just too much. He's not pushing. He's giving her respect for her boundaries right now. And I think it's adorable.
Also, I don't think he's ready to actually propose a relationship because he doesn't think he's worthy of a relationship. He thinks especially their life circumstances are not, he can't. Okay, so there's two elements. There's like, I'm not worthy, the whole psychological self-worth thing. And then there's, I'm like in the PS and like, they're going to kill me or her. So there's like the circumstance, which doesn't allow them to be together. So
there's so much working against them.
Yeah. And even once the circumstances are lifted, he'll still have the self-worth problem. So, but he's definitely pushing the boundaries with pretending to flirt / yes, flirting. I love it.
Pretending,
right? Just always pass it off as a joke, but it's not.
It's never a joke.
So now he gets up and she's like, Kieran, what are you doing here? And he says, well, I was at the precinct today. He sits down near her. Heard that news that a certain officer prevented the murder of Green's killer in extremis, brought him to the hospital, only to discover he was already involved in the weapon operation. I barely had time to be proud of you before learning that the hospital was on lockdown due to said killer's murder by a nurse gone rogue. Okay. Hello, Kieran. Well, I will let you comment now.
So he's still like joking with her, but you can tell he actually is proud of her, that's why I didn't want to say anything at the beginning, because like that's how I went going into it. And that's how I've been going for a while, because I know he has self-esteem problems. I know they both have like so much trauma, and he's in the phantom scythe and whatever, you know, and all this stuff is going on. And I was like, I'll just be happy for them if they decide to, you know, just be friends, and like she just has somebody in her corner. And then they pull this on me, and I'm like, oh gosh, dang it, you know, like making him all cute and stuff, flirting with her hard while talking about a murderer. I mean, getting killed. It's kind of a lot, but you know, it's just, he stole my heart. Gonna have to get the wood planks out and the hammers and the nails, because I am building the ship right now. But it might take a while because this man is moving so slow.
Molasses. Well, Lauren's not even moving.
That's fair.
To me, this just like proves what I always say, that Lauren by nature is highly sensitive and affectionate and warm and emotional and sweet and tender. Because I mean, even with his trauma and his job and his experiences, he is still so soft and so,
he really is
receptive and so like generous. Like,
I know.
Sorry. What do you think? How he's so sensitive and sweet and awesome and amazing.
It almost seems like that side of him that is the, you know, the purple hyacinth killer is just like a different person. It's like a persona. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like my daughter and I, because she's a dancer, and we were talking about like how like one of her favorite dancers is that, like, you know, he's like goofy and funny and stuff like that, but the second that the music starts, he gets himself into this mode, and you can see his face change and stuff like that, and it's like he's a whole different person when he's on stage and dancing. It's like his persona. And I'm like that's how I feel about Kieran, that like that's a completely different persona. It's not actually Kieran, it's this persona that he had to create to survive.
Yeah,
you know. So that's what it feels like to me. Maybe somebody will disagree, like, but that's what it feels like, is that it's a completely different persona that he's able to box away when he doesn't need to use it. And I think it's gonna actually, the more that he and Lauren go into this, I think it's gonna be harder and harder for him to box that persona up and, like, you know, deal with it, because like that is a trauma to him, and that's unfortunately what a lot of trauma victims do, is they box it up and they put it away until they can deal with it and stuff like that. And I think that's going to be hard for Kieran to box it up, and he's going to have to deal with it sooner rather than later.
You mean box up his purple hyacinth persona?
Yeah, that one.
So do you mean you suspect that like that side of him will come out once he
No, it's more like he boxes it up and forgets about it, if that makes sense, whenever he doesn't have to. And like he does acknowledge it here and there, but I think that he's gonna have to like actually like come to terms with that whole persona and that whole side of him like soon. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be like raw, emotional. We're all gonna cry ugly tears, and it's gonna be awful.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that scene. I mean, 136. I will have more 136s any day. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Drama. Yes, write me down. So Lauren's like, it was Belladonna. Of course it'd be her finishing the messenger's job. God, I can't believe she managed to slip in so easily. So yeah, so that's probably why she said, you know, she was quick on the reaction. She was like, yeah, it was Bella.
Right.
And Kieran says, by the way, I love like the mist in front of not the mist, what's it called? The something in front of their eye, their mouth. Lighting is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
She says, Blaire's hours were counted the moment the messenger set foot in his home. Somehow one of the apostles or the leader himself must have figured out that he was suspected. And then she's like, but how? How could they know so quickly? I found the notebook barely 2 days ago. Only a handful of people at the precinct know about it. People I fully trust. And Kieran asked the $100 question or $1 million question. Do you think March or Hermann? And Lauren thinks back to 𝗪𝗪𝗍 telling her, he is closer to you, more similar to you than you think, Lauren. You must remove the blindfold. Where she's talking about that someone will betray you.
Yeah.
Who is closer to you and more similar than you think? And Lauren thinks about it, and she's like, no, that's impossible. I've known March for years. He lost his wife to the 𝗵𝗂𝗍. Well, actually, what he said was that something like he lost his wife to the criminals that have been plaguing 𝗪𝗲𝗪 for so long. He never said his wife, and he knows about Lauren's ability, and he's dumb, and that's that. So
I don't want to suspect him. I suspect Hermann the most right now, but so many good points being brought up about March right now.
I'm on the March train. I think that March is plausible because he is compelling and he's gray and he has cause to do what he does and he's sympathetic. I don't think the leader is going to be someone that we hate, because then what's the emotional drama of that? I think the leader is going to be someone that we like, because it has to have our gut.
I hate that you're sounding so right now, but you do sound right, honestly. But I was thinking that there might be a chance that Hermann is actually the leader, and he is literally just getting rid of like because I mean, it's been said that, you know, a lot of the apostles are rallying against the leader and stuff like that, and that's, you know, and he would know that Lauren's parents were killed, you know, if he was the leader, and that's why he hates her so much. I don't know, and keeps her off of everything. But I mean,
it's really obvious though if he's not.
It is obvious, but you know what? Maybe they're trying to trick us into thinking it's March and then make it and be like, no, it can't be that obvious. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the only reason that I don't suspect March, because I'm like, but the signs are pointing to March, so maybe it's not March because it looks like March. Like,
right, because it's so obvious. Like, you're like, okay, it's so obvious it couldn't be Hermann because we all hate him and stuff like that. And it, you know, let's point everything towards March, and it's like, psych, guess what? It was Hermann after all. Maybe it's both of them. Maybe they're both involved somehow. I don't know.
I would be very surprised if Hermann is at all like P.S. Lauren says Hermann's hatred for them is entirely genuine, and I'm on board. I think he is whatever he presents himself to be. He's rigid, he's law-driven, he's a little narrow-minded, and he hates the PS, period. I really think that is that only thing that he is, but I don't know. We could be wrong. I mean, I'm not, I mean, you already suspect the Hermann. I don't, but so I could be wrong.
We'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, and she says, I would have heard either of them lie at some point, especially with everything that happened today. But there's got to be a mole in the precinct, and we have to find out who. And Kieran's look over there, I don't know. He looks a little guilty and troubled. But, you know, I don't know, because the next line, he kind of like makes fun of it, and he says, there's a suspect, actually, a dark and mysterious part-time archivist. Something fishy about him. I don't quite trust him. Which is hilarious, but I'm still a little troubled by the look before. Do you think he would be the mole and not tell Lauren? Do you think that would actually be something he would do at this point in the relationship?
I don't know, because I feel like there's like, he does try and like shield her, you know, if he thought that by not telling her that she would be safe in some way, I could see it. You know what I mean? But I just don't know how yet. But I think that there is like a possibility, but I'm not leaning that way right now.
Yeah, me neither. Look at him
awfully guilty.
Yeah, it's a little. Maybe he knows for sure who it is. That's the question. Maybe he knows. Maybe it's not March or Hermann, and he's just trying to throw suspicion off of them. I don't know.
I will hate life if it's Will. I'm gonna be so mad if it's Will.
Okay, no. That's too much. Too much.
I will hate life. I'll be like, I will throw my phone if it's Will or Kym.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they both. Wait, does Will know about her ability? I can't remember. I know Kym does. I will hate life. Hate life if it's either of them.
I don't
be so mad.
It would be unfair as a reader because they've been presented in a way that doesn't.
But they do. Look, I mean, look at the drawing of the author and the artist at the end so like reader's tears mug every time. she
wants to make us cry.
I will cry.
She could just kill Will off instead of making him the bad guy.
No.
It's even worse.
I will throw my phone.
You already will throw your phone, you said. Is that whatever it is?
Leave Will and Kym alone.
All right. So he jokes about himself. I think it's hilarious. It's really funny. And she's like, I'm not joking, Kieran. It's like, I know. Okay, Mr. Flirt. And she says, as frustrating as it can be, we've got other priorities to tackle for now. No, he says that, sorry. He says, I finished putting together 𝗏𝗏𝗡's file and it needs to land in Dawkins' hands as soon as possible. Not in the most complete, but surely enough to incriminate him. She's like, oh, in record time, thank you. She's like, you're the one who should be a detective. Look at that. A little
just a little bit. Just like a little smidge, but you know, I'll take it at this point. I'll take it, Lauren. She's about time.
And she's complimenting him.
I know.
So.
Teasing and a compliment. Just kill me now.
So now, speaking of compliments, Kieran gets down on one knee. Okay, not really.
My God.
He's what's the word? Crouching. Almost like on a knee, basically. And he doesn't quite propose, but he does give her a massive compliment. Looking at her in the face, he says, "You discovered the 𝗤𝗵 weapon hideout entirely on your own, potentially killing a new violent terrorist attack right in the egg. Not quite as impressive, but not bad." Look at that smile.
As he looks up at her.
Oh, I have to die for her. Oh my gosh. This man is such a giver. He is so pathetic.
How dare he? I was just going in, not necessarily expecting romance, and then he does this to me. How dare he?
What? This is
the audacity. If men have nothing, they have at least the audacity to do this to me. These 2D men.
It's I'm gonna stare at that face for a while.
Look at Lauren's face, though. Look at Lauren's face. Her face looks like Will's earlier in the episode. So soft. Honey dripping out the eyes.
No. These two are getting so close. Okay, you know what I want? I want some introspection from Lauren. She had some introspection like after he came to visit her in that amazing suit. I want some introspection and thinking about their relationship. What does it mean? What do I feel about Kieran? What does Kieran feel about me? She has to start thinking about
You know
it.
what I want?
What?
I want the he spends the night trope and all they do is just cuddle. That's what I want.
Yes. Lord, if that happens, I will pledge eternal gratitude. I'll never be snappy again. I will be the kindest soul ever.
Just maybe they go on a trip somewhere and there's one bed, and then just spend one night in each other's arms. Doesn't have to be sexual in any way. I just need them to just be vulnerable and open and cuddly with each other. So bad. After seriously, I started so neutral, and then I read this episode. I was like, dang it.
I mean, legit, at the beginning of this episode, you're like, well, it's friends now. And now you're like, one bad trope. How far you have come in 40 minutes.
I know, right? Like, seriously, that I didn't want to get too into it at the beginning of the episode because I didn't want to give away my feelings. So I finally got here and I'm like,
we love it. I was not expecting fluff, but I was not complaining.
So fluffy, fluffier than cotton candy, fluffier than cloud, like just pure fluff. It's adorable.
Awesome. And then to make things even better, he asks her, "How are you doing in the midst of all this, though?" Hello, this man is like a saint, asking about her feelings. Oh.
I'm going to have to ask him to stop a little bit before I go too far over this like ship's edge right now. You know what? I'm already there. Just whatever.
You're making men everywhere look bad. The truth is, 𝗂𝗚 is actually really nice. So 𝗂𝗚 can measure up to Kieran in this regard. But I mean, everyone out there has to learn from Kieran and take a leaf from his book.
Agreed. Especially by crouching down, because like that's like a way of like giving up your like almost like power when you're the smaller one and you're looking up. You know what I mean? It's like very non-threatening. That's why you're supposed to like crouch when you talk to kids and stuff like that. You're supposed to meet them at their level or smaller, so they feel like more comfortable, like they have power in that moment. And look at him crouching below her. How dare he?
So cute. And I happen not to be a fan of his like short little ponytail. I love long hair on men, and but I don't know. I hate the position of the ponytail, but some people like it, so I'm just pointing it out.
I'm not normally a fan either of short ponytails, but I'm kind of digging it. I wish his hair was longer. I love long hair on men so much. I love long hair on men. When Johnny from NCT had those hair extensions in for the Work It music video last year? Was it year before? Anyways, loved it so much. I was like, yes, more men should have long hair.
Okay, I'm literally looking up Donnie NCT hair extensions. It's like the purple ones, pink.
No, they're blonde. They're blonde.
Yeah. Wow, it's really pretty. Yeah.
Pretty.
Yep,
And
I agree.
the long hair just made it better. You want to see somebody who's really pretty? Look up Hyunjin from Stray Kids. Backdoor music video.
Yeah.
His hair was super pretty. That was his hair during the backdoor concept. So pretty.
Okay. I think I have the video. Oh, it's blonde. Also very like white blonde, ice blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. It's a little bit like Geralt the Witcher, like that style. Very cute. All right.
So that's it. Just, I mean, if the artists and time has gone by. If you want to let Kieran grow out his hair to like that, where he has just like a little, thing with some like hair coming down, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Would not mind.
Yes, and obviously, as many fans are requesting, we have to see Kieran's hair loose and down in the comic.
Ooh. I think that nobody will survive that if we have his hair.
All PH fans will just
die, right? Kill right over.
Tragedy. We'll die happy, huh?
Very happy. But I need to live for at least a little bit longer. I'm going to a concert next month. So if you could just like not kill me before then.
Okay. So she says, I'm all right. Feeling like I shouldn't be here, safe, not knowing what's going on, while Tristan is involved in the devil's operation right at this moment. Oh. She leans back her head again, and someone on Discord pointed out that like, look how much she is revealing her neck and how much she trusts Kieran. Like, it's not even a question. She's like, tell me
I know. Literally showing off her neck to a seasoned murderer. Like a seasoned assassin who could just do anything, just so, out there and vulnerable. Doesn't even care.
You know what I bet he wants to do to her neck? Yeah, I don't think he wants to put the blade there. I think he wants to put his lip there.
Still.
And she's like, nobody knows what's going on there. And now it's just a great shot from above. Like, I'm not gonna say it, but it's a little suggestive. I'm just saying.
He's like bowing in front of her.
Yeah.
Like legit bowing in front of her. So I'm just gonna leave that there and we can
Yes, move on. Those who know, know. All right. So we are transitioning to the operation that she is referring to. And we have this mine. We have a bunch of mining equipment. It looks like some train, little mine train with like coal or whatever. And a bunch of soldiers, it looks like. There are one.
Yeah, the outfits are super World War One.
Yeah, those like I don't know what they're called. Oh, helmets. They're ready to enter. We have our dear old Tristan. I was so terrified that Tristan would die this episode. I was so
terrified. Like this is like let's give you all this fluffy stuff. Okay, now time for terror.
Yeah, I was afraid. Okay, so I'll go on a little bit. I'll tell you what point I was most afraid. So they're advancing. There's like these tunnels. There's the train. They're going through. There's some junk. We can't really make it out. Bunch of junk.
There's like a random stick of dynamite there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I guess I don't know anything about dynamite. And they've reached the mouth of the tunnel, and they're like, "What's this?" And then someone taps a rock and falls over and falls down, 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 down. And this was the point that I thought it would like hit them explosive and they would all blow up and die.
That's what I thought too. I was like, that was a dumb move.
How did she get to the grave? How did she get to the grave? Told that he's dead.
Like, you dumb bitch. Like, seriously, look what you're doing. I was like, what's wrong with
you? I think he did it on purpose to test like what's there, which I guess, but it's a pretty big rock and like dynamite, I don't know, explosives. Like you're literally going to find explosives. I don't know. I'm telling you. The APD is not making good decisions. The army is not making good decisions. Tristan, you should really do better. Sorry.
Tristan, you should have some. He's not even wearing a helmet right now in the next panel. Like, what the heck, man? Why would you take off your helmet? Like, why would you not be wearing a helmet right now? Like, come on, broski. Like, do you have any self-preservation skills right now?
Yeah, I mean, besides for plot armor, exactly. Yeah, so I'm a little actually confused about what happened to the falls. And then the next scene is like more soldiers. So is it falling over them, or is it just like a weirdly placed
I
panel?
think it's just really like this. It's just showing like them coming in as that thing is falling down.
Okay,
like
fine.
the army like coming in is what I
That
think.
makes more sense. So Tristan says, "Holy gods," and he looks down. There's this giant precipice, and there are boxes and boxes of neatly stacked, what we can only presume to be some kind of explosive. Nitro already. I forgot what they use the term. I'm like thinking back to like, I'm like 𝗏𝗏 to this. Like I have all these like fantasy books and stuff going through my head. I forgot what they're actually called. Nitrate. I don't know. Nitroglycerin. I literally forgot what they're called.
Could be C4. Who knows? Who knows?
So yeah, it looks like they found it, and he picks the radio up to his head. He says, "Chief Sinclair speaking. Arsenal located," and it ends. Although I have to say, it just occurred to me now, he could just be dying in the next episode. I'm sus. I think things will go wrong. Do you?
Oh yeah, I 100% think things are gonna go wrong. If they all of a sudden are like, nope, nothing goes wrong, we just discovered this, I'm gonna be shocked. But you know what? This is one of those series that I never know what's gonna go happen next. We don't know. You think you know, and then the opposite happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Like it would be too easy. We need some drama. We need some conflict. So, but I don't want him to die yet. I'm not ready. I don't want him to die.
I'm not ready for anyone to die yet. Like I know somebody is going to, but I'm not ready. Or if somebody's life is going to be in danger within the next 2 episodes, I am like, that's one thing I can bet on, is that somebody's life is going to be super in danger. I mean, their lives are already in danger, but I think it's just going to get worse. But it's not.
We love you, Tristan. Please don't die. I mean, but maybe you could die because someone has to die. Otherwise, it would be sad and like not dramatic enough. That's the truth.
Maybe he'll get maimed. Just maimed.
Okay, but then someone else has to die, right? Why would Ňira tell Lauren that he died? Oh, because she is in touch with Dr. Tristan. I guess it's plausible. Well, we shall see.
Like, I am going to be on pins and needles until next week. Is just how it's going to be. I am already like, I need to like read something or watch something fluffy after this, because my heart can't take it from going straight from sweet fluff to murder, and then going back to straight sweet fluff to, oh crap, there was like flammable like explosives all around.
And if we have the mole would know that they've gone there, and who knows what they're up to, right? Like, what are they planning? Are they planning on like detonating stuff with Tristan and the army there to like take them down?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to happen because the mole knows that they're there. I don't know.
All right, Kieran's art corner. What's your favorite panel? Oh, I know what's my favorite panel. This is my favorite panel.
Yes, it's either that one or the one with like Will and Kym looking at each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're both.
I need to hold on to the fluff for my own physical well-being right now, because otherwise I will die.
Exactly. All right, let's go back to the fluff. We are fluffy. This episode has been incredibly fluffy. Just clouds, rainbows, unicorns. Kieran and Lauren, Loki. I mean, Will and Kym. Basically, this episode has just been amazing. Nothing sad, nothing horrible, nothing anxiety-induced happening.
Like nothing there, yeah. But like literally the way they go from like so sweet that you're going to gag to like literal like brutal death, like just a few panels later. Really? And then of course they go from like frantic, you know, like adventure or action is what I'm trying to say, like action and stuff like that, to like sweet, like hearts connecting and stuff like that, to literal bombs. Like, a little much.
I think it's intentional. I think that's how they like it.
Yeah, like a roller coaster. Like you go up and then you go boom, and then you go up again and boom.
That's what makes it exciting.
With my heart. That's what's going on in my heart right now. So yeah, thanks for that, guys. I appreciate that so much.
We do. That's why we come back every week.
I know it is. That's why they're taking all of my coins right now. So
yeah, I have to just buy new coins today, right now, actually, for this episode. So
yeah. I've been like saving up all of my like Google rewards and stuff like that to like make a giant purchase. So I know it's coming.
Yeah, well, this was exciting. This was fluffy and yes, dramatic fun a little bit. So it was a great episode. I loved it. And thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll find out in future episodes what happens.
I can't think about it until next week, and then I can get like all anxiety ridden again. So that's
save the anxiety for next week. All right, 𝗏𝗏, good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Jo, Rochelle, Saucy Toggles, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Esther, and Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. Gastaldo, and 𝗪𝗲𝗱𝗀. Your support is truly appreciated.